Let's go to Aviano in Italy and speak to David Gove, who's a master diver in the U.S. Navy. David, welcome to the program. What is uppermost in your mind right now?
Just a survival with the lack of O2. I have looked up the craft, and it's carbon-based with titanium. I also heard on the newscast that you just displayed that one person said it wasn't really certified. One thing I'd like to do is get rid of the miles down thing and relay to people that this is 13,000 feet. Okay, that's a pretty big haystack to be able to search for a needle in. You got to also think what these people are going through. They're not comfortable, and a lot of it is speculation at this point. But I think that there's some mistakes that were perhaps made, but we won't know what those are until the craft is recovered. That deep ocean water is just above freezing. So imagine the people in that sub that are either still alive or not. We don't even know if it's surfaced. Different things, we don't know if it's crashed. We don't know. They could be tapping on something to help people find them. It's just all speculative at this point.
Can you tell us about the sounds? You mentioned the tapping, and
Yeah.
they seem to be coming every half hour. What's the purpose of the timing of those taps?
It might be every half hour is to show that there's people down there, and it's not an animal or some other thing that's causing the tapping. If it's every 30 minutes like that, that's probably showing that they are down there and they're trying to get the hell out of there, you know? So hopefully there's a way to either recover them or at least supply them with more air. I'm not sure of the system, but the prayers go out to them totally. But I do think it's good that they're tapping timed like they are.
You said that you didn't want people to focus on the depth of the ocean bed, but presumably that would be important if indeed the Titan is 4 kilometers down, 13,000 feet. I think you said 2.4 miles, whichever metric you want to use. If it were to be discovered on the ocean bed, would it be recoverable at that depth?
I'm not sure what kind of cranes they have out there. If they do have a crane that's long enough, they could also use large lift bags to pull it out. But the problem is getting an ROV down there to be able to attach them to the mini submersible. But I'm sure that the military, civilians, and everybody are doing their best. Now, the reason I said feet versus miles or kilometers is just to put it in perspective that, you know, this isn't something that you can throw a ball into a pool and search for it. Okay, it's deep. It's 13,000 feet max down there, and that's a pretty bad thing to have occur. Yeah, I was just trying to put that in perspective for everyone versus the miles.
Absolutely, and perspective is extremely important because none of us have the experience that you have, David. In terms of, you were talking about their psychology, the fact that it's going to be very cold inside, the understanding from people who have looked at the schematics, if that's the right word, of the sub, is that it doesn't have any sort of mechanism to extract carbon dioxide from the air, because as oxygen diminishes, people are going to be putting out carbon dioxide. It could be that the passengers could be falling asleep and actually still remain alive for quite a long time, even though the oxygen has run out, according to a hyperbaric expert. But in terms of the psychology, is there anybody on board? I mean, even the pilot, I mean, he's a business person. Who is there on board who can lead these 5 people, the 4 others, in terms of how they should be behaving?
That's an issue. They need to have more people on there that's qualified with the mini submersible. They also, the other part of that though is they could pass out, and with the cold down there, that could cause them to survive a little bit longer. It's just, again, we're speculating a lot, but I really do hope that some improvements are made to the amount of people, the types of people that are on these mini submersibles, as well as having some kind of a rebreather outfit on it if they don't have that.
David, thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us. David Gove from the U.S. Navy.